Bunnahabhain, Bunnahabhain, Bu- Hello and welcome to Whiskey Whims with me, Stuart. Today we have another whiskey in our Weird and Wonderful Whiskey series, and today it's Bunnahabhain. Now this might not seem like a weird and wonderful whiskey, it is matured in bourbon and sherry, but the reason this is in the list is because it's peated, and Bunnahabhain don't normally peat their whiskies. They do have some peated expressions, but generally it's an unpeated whiskey, an unpeated Islay malt. So I thought it was quite weird or weird and wonderful enough to add into the list. So it's Bunnahabhain, I'm going to murder the Gaelic, Caorag or Caorag, no, Caorag. It's Bunnahabhain Caorag or something like that. It means a little peat or a small peat. It's hand filled at the distillery from Warehouse 9. This one was filled by Colin Stroud on the 2nd of July 2019. It's bottled at 46.8% ABV, no chill filtration and no added colouring. It is a little pricey, it's £85. I got this gifted to me, and I don't think you can really pick it up anymore. Some shops might have it, they were selling them to shops and things like that. So it wasn't just the cases you could buy it at the warehouse or the distillery, you could also buy it at certain shops. I think this was bought from the Royal Mill Whiskies in Edinburgh. But yeah, or it might have been actually bought at Deanston, I might be wrong. But I think, yeah, it might have been bought at Deanston Distillery now that I think of it. Anyway, like I said, it was gifted to me, so I'm unsure entirely where it came from. Possibly it was just distillery exclusive. But it's matured in bourbon moine casks and also Oloroso sherry casks. And like I said, it's got the peat element to it. Looking back on it, this might not seem that weird and wonderful, but I may be running out of whiskies to find the weird and wonderful ideas from. But I think it's pretty cool that, because it's peated and it's Bunnahabhain. I believe this must be my first Bunnahabhain on the channel. I'm not going to go too much into distillery. It's owned by Distill, the company that own Deanston, and is it Tobermory and Lecheg they own? Ledcheg? Is it Tobermory and Ledcheg? Anyway, it's one of them. It's Deanston, Bunnahabhain, and they own another whiskey distillery. Yeah, so that's probably all I've got to say. It's on Islay. It's right at the top there. If you can see the map, and that's about it. It's right at the north of Islay. So yeah, let's get down to the tasting. That's what we're here for. It's quite delicate on the nose. I mean, the peat's present, but it's still quite a subtle nose. I mean, it is under 46%. It maybe could have done with being a little higher percentage. It doesn't tell you the age. I mean, filled in the 2019. Yeah, it doesn't tell you the age, but it doesn't smell young. There's ash, there's creamy vanilla, there's some sherry influence there. I mean, I think Oloroso can be quite powerful, but the peat is definitely masking the Oloroso, or it's just the fact that it's quite a delicate nose. And the peat is probably the most dominant feature here. A little pepper, a little spiciness. A nice enough nose, but it's very subtle. Yeah, quite creamy. We'll go to the palate. I was just looking outside there and realising how sunny it is. Last night, from 1 o'clock in the morning to possibly 4 o'clock in the morning, it was thunderstorms, thunder and lightning. It was quite loud. So I was just appreciating the sun. Sorry to go off on a tangent. So the palate is quite oily. There's like a kind of burnt, crispy bacon taste. Some vegetal notes. Maybe, let's say, because it's Islay and by the coast, maybe like seaweed or something like that. There's citrus. There's, once again, some of the sherries coming through. Possibly plum. Yeah, it's quite a nice palate. It's actually quite a nice, I'll just pour a little bit more. It's quite sessionable, I would say. I mean, if you're up for a peat night and you wanted something either to start with to kind of build your palate up towards peat, or if you wanted something to finish with, or if you just wanted something to drink all night, you could probably sit and drink this. It's like a session IPA. It's quite sessionable, and like I said, it's drinkable. So the finish. Yeah, it is a nice whiskey. So the finish is probably medium in length, peat smoke lingering throughout. There is, there's honey, there's raisins, there's peanuts, there's a kind of oaky, bitter tang to this, but it's also quite sweet at the end. So there's a bitter, drying sweetness, if that makes sense. Like I said, the nuttiness is there, possibly from the oak, which giving you the bitterness as well, the dryness, but there is this sweet finish to it. I don't know if it's the honey coming through again, or if it's something else, but right at the end, the finale is an overall sweet flavour. It's a shame that this is so expensive, or, well, I mean, it is hand-filled, it is a warehouse exclusive, £85. Is that expensive in the scheme of things? Well, if it is obviously distillery exclusive, probably not, but you've not got an age on it, you don't know what age it is, I don't know what age it is. We've got enough information, supposedly bourbon wine cask, like I said, all the roasted sherry, peated, no chill filtration, no added colouring, so that's all good. It is a good whiskey, but for me it's a little bit pricey, maybe £60, £65, knock £20 off it, and it's an absolute bargain. But yeah, I think it's a whiskey win. I've tried to do my scoring a little bit better. I like saying whether it's things are a win or a bin. This is a whiskey win, but I'd also like to comment on whether I'd buy it again. I don't think I'd buy it again because I don't think I'd get a hold of it for £85 or less. Would I recommend it? Definitely would recommend it. It's one to try. And is it worth the price? I think that's my three main ideologies to try and review whiskey. I don't think it's worth the price necessarily. Like I said, it is a drinking whiskey. You will have an enjoyable time with it. I don't think I think I'm halfway through it, and I've not had a bad dram out of it yet. So possibly is worth the price. Depends on what your expenditure's like and if you're willing to pay £85 for it. But I think maybe £65 would be the better price point. But I'm no marketing expert or business expert, so I can't really comment on price. But I wouldn't pay £85 for it. I'd pay £65 for it. But still a whiskey win. Still an incredibly good whiskey. Like I said, it's sessionable. You could drink it all night. And I think that's all I've got to say on it, because I'm just going to keep repeating myself. But yeah, I'm going to finish the rest of this off camera. And thanks a lot. I've been Stuart, it's been Whiskey Whims. I'll see you later.